This podcast was produced as a part of the project supported under Public Diplomacy 2020, New Dimension, being co-financed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland. The publication expresses the views of the authors exclusively and does not represent the official position of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland.
The effect of the accession to the EU means, first of all, that our farming started to develop according to the EU rules, the Common Agricultural Policy rules. There are, of course, some positive and negative aspects of the accession. First of all, farmers get direct payments, which was completely new for our farmers. And then we have also another new mechanism. This was schemes related to farm modernization. A very new situation is also the access of Polish food to the EU market. And this in total make huge changes in Polish agriculture. It is, of course, difficult to say that the changes were positive or negative because we cannot find both of them. And let's start from the chosen positive changes in Polish agriculture caused by accession to the EU. And first was, of course, the direct payments. Although the payments were lower than in the former EU 15, these payments substantially improve the financial situation of our farmers. The other important factor which improved the situation of Polish farmers was, of course, the access of Polish food to the EU markets. So the export of our food rose markedly. And the positive aspect number 3, it was the financial aid in the program of farm modernization. On Polish farming, we used to have the very old machinery, and this was in many farms changed to the new ones. So we can see that many farmers purchase new tractors and other farm machinery, and this rather would not be possible without the financial aid of the EU programs. This, of course, increased work efficiency and enhanced the quality of crop cultivation. So, of course, this is one of the examples of this new machinery which can be found now in our farming. But there are also some negative changes. And at least in my opinion, first of all, it is intensification through increased chemicalization. We can see a huge rise in consumption of chemical pesticides and artificial fertilizers, and this is especially nitrogen. But the utilization of this increased inputs is not that good as one could expect. For example, when we see in Poland the increase in the consumption with nitrogen, so in 1991 it is, of course, before accession it was circa 40 kilograms of pure nitrogen per ha. In the years of accession it was already 56 kilograms, and 2013, and I guess more or less the same as in 2020, it rose to more than 80 kilograms. But in the same time, when we look at the of wheat, which is the main cereal crop in Poland, the yields rose just by circa 0.2 tons per hectare. So the amount of nitrogen was almost doubled and the yields rose not too high. In the same time, the tendency in the neighboring country, in Germany, was completely different. In the years 2004 and 2013, the nitrogen input dropped, but the yields of wheat were almost the same, and in fact almost double to the yields which we can see in Poland. So this market increase in nitrogen consumption does not double the yields, and that means that most of this nitrogen just polluted the environment. Another important negative aspect of this new changes was the specialization, concentration and industrialization of production methods, but especially animal husbandry. And this specialization and concentration in animal husbandry caused severe environmental problems. This is soil degradation, soil compaction, loss of proper soil texture, increased nutrient and pesticide leaching, and this is found in many regions when we look at the groundwaters, and also increased surface water eutrophication, because this includes the Baltic Sea. And one has to remember that about 75% of the arable area in the Baltic Sea region is located in Poland. So we have a great effect on the situation in the Baltic Sea. Let's look at some examples of this new situation. So we can see huge industrial dairy cattle. This is in the Zachodniopomorskie Voivodeship. And we see there are lots of cows in one building, hundreds of animals. So this is the concentration. It is good for the milk industry to buy the huge amount of milk in one place, but it's a very bad for the environment, as it is impossible to properly use this amount of slurry. And of course we can buy the feed from distant places, but we are not able to take the slurry back some 100 kilometers away. So this is of course the situation. We have these hotspots with a very bad impact on the environment, especially on groundwaters, but also on the atmosphere. Another example, this is a big peak installation. This time it is 41,000 peaks in one place. More or less the same consequences. Another peak building. And chicken. We produce a lot of chicken, and circa 50% of milk chicken is exported from Poland. With this specialization and concentration in animal husbandry, we lost a positive environmental impact of the former situation when we used to have a balanced sector of animal and crop production. So before the accession, we had the situation when this production was decentralized, and evenly distributed all over the country. So in fact, almost in every farm one can find dairy cattle, pigs, and poultry. And this animal production was well balanced with crop production, so there was no lack of manures and no excess of manures on soils. So we lost, in fact, extensive methods of animal rearing, but they used to be the methods which have the high animal welfare standards. Almost in all farms there was straw bedding. In almost all farms, dairy cattle had an access to grazing. The situation changed completely. At the moment, in most villages, there is no single dairy cow. And in general, at present, at circa 85% of Polish farms, there are no animals. And let's look at some examples of the situation that we used to have before. So as I mentioned before, almost all the cows had access to grazing, which of course is good for the animals, for their welfare, but also for the biological quality of the milk. And the same goes for pigs. Almost every family used to keep some pigs, small herds. And because at the moment most of our farms became stockless, in the last 20 years, 1 of 4 million hectares, that means 1 million hectares of permanent meadows, have got abandoned. And the reason is simple, as most of the farmers stopped to keep cattle. The permanent meadows distributed all over the country are in fact useless. And in some areas they were replaced by silage maize. And silage maize is a very productive crop, but it causes soil degradation, especially loss of humus. And due to conversion of our former mixed farms to stockless farms, we had some severe problems on these stockless farms, that is soil degradation. First of all, lowering of humus content and lowering of water holding capacity, increased soil erosion, then nutrient leaching and pesticides leaching, which results in contamination of groundwaters, and increased surface water eutrophication, and this includes of course the Baltic Sea. Goes to organic farming, there is not a big success. Also, in the first years after our accession to the EU, we have found a very sharp increase in the number of organic farm acreage, up to circa almost 700,000 hectares. And the number of farms, it was about 26,000 farms. And then one can see from the year of 2014 a drop in the number of farms and a drop in the acreage of organic farms in Poland. So at the moment it is less than 4% of agriculture utilized area, and when we look at the new goal of the EU, this is 25% of organic farming, that means that our policy towards organic farming just failed, and we have to look for the new methods just to convince the farmers to convert into organic farming system. What then should we change in the current policy? First of all, when we take into account the environmental and other problems of the common agricultural policy, I think we should reform it in the way to stop the concentration of animal production and its devastating impact on soil, the environment, and sustainability. Increase nutrient recycling. We need efficient and sustainable use of nutrients to protect ground and surface waters from eutrophication. And I guess this will be the most difficult, to deconcentrate animal production, especially cattle rearing, in order to vitalize abandoned meadows and pastures. Otherwise, we will not increase the sequestration of CO2. And I would like to hope that the Green Deal will be an efficient method to improve farming, and this includes, of course, the growth of organic farming sector. Thank you very much for your attention.